We interrupt programming with breaking news in Raleigh, where for the second night we are seeing large groups protesting.
Well, Maggie, we actually just got hit with tear gas that Raleigh police just dispersed about 5 or 10 minutes ago. This is at the corner of Morgan and Salisbury Street.
I apologize here. They are using some bad language, but it is anti-police.
Right now at 4, heavy hearts in Raleigh. 5 people dead and 1 woman in critical condition this afternoon. And we're learning more about the victims in the Raleigh mass shooting. Neighbors in the Headingham community reeling this afternoon, still processing that deadly act of violence that sent shockwaves through the city of Raleigh.
Officer Gabriel Torres among the 5 people killed. He was a husband and a father of a baby girl.
Police say the teen suspect shot the off-duty officer as he was leaving home for work. Officer
Stephen Lauren, you could really feel the mood here on campus tonight, just somber. Folks knew why our cameras were here tonight, but we really wanted to listen to what folks are going through and see how they're trying to change things.
Social interaction it's a key part of the learning process, right? To be in class, ask the questions, right? So it can definitely have an impact.
Iman is from Botswana and deferred his first year because he didn't want to be in Raleigh learning online. He believes students in college right now are having a tough time because their high school experience was altered by the pandemic.
Just as a society, as the school, as we're moving forward, things are in place to really help us. But, when something like this happens, it's very unfortunate and sad.
NC State Police are also investigating a suspected suicide. A body was found in the woods near Lake Raleigh last night. They confirmed this is the 6th student suicide this school year and the 13th student death overall. Drop-in counselors are available today and tomorrow for both students and staff.
And I love Raleigh, and I wanted to have a positive impact upon this area, and I felt like one of the deep needs for Raleigh are the people, reaching the people that would never go near a church, irreligious people, people far from God, skeptics and doubters. They needed safe places outside of the institutional church walls to wrestle with the big questions of life and God, and that's when I got connected in 2018 with Search, and then in 2019 came on to staff with them. I'm thrilled that we have something like Search in Raleigh. It's not the only thing in advancing the kingdom of God. It's a niche, but it fills a really critical place. And as you've heard from some of the testimonies and stories today, and even in my own story, it's impacting lives. It's helped me engage more comfortably with people that I never was having conversations with. And now it's all in the fabric of my life. Why? Because through the principles of Search and the ideas that they have taught me, I am conversationally and relationally engaging in much more comfortable ways with people that don't know God.
interrupt programming with breaking news in Raleigh, where for the second night we are seeing large groups protesting.
Yeah, let's get straight downtown to Bridget Chapman. She is live there for us. And Bridget, it seems like things started to escalate a bit. Tell us exactly where you are and what you've been seeing.
Yeah, since we last spoke in the 6 o'clock hour, things have escalated quite a bit. If you look here, the crowd is dispersed and police have actually blocked off the street. They just released tear gas into the crowd here. Now, it kind of started to escalate when the crowd was standing on this side of the street in front of the old Capitol building, and then they moved into the road, blocking off Morgan Street and the entrance of Fayetteville Street here. Once they started doing that, they were laying on the ground, both at this entrance at Fayetteville and down at Salisbury. They were chanting, they were laying on the ground, and then one of the protesters came back to tell the group to move onto the side, get back on the sidewalk in front of the Capitol. And pretty soon after people started to move back onto the sidewalk, they deployed the tear gas. You heard kind of the pop sound of it. We weren't sure what it was at first, since it looks a little bit just like smoke, but then you can definitely feel it in your nostrils and in your eyes. As you can see, there's quite a heavy police presence now at the end of the street here, and some protesters are still getting pretty close to them. Now, as we know, last night turned violent, and it was very similar in the sense of the tear gas being deployed and then things taking a turn. I will say a lot of people are kind of standing back here, but they released it kind of back to back, and then they haven't in a few minutes, but you can see it's tense. I'm seeing if I can hear what they're saying out there. But that's kind of what it's looking like right now. I mean, they started, a handful of people started gathering out here around 1 o'clock this afternoon, and the crowd grew slowly over the hours, and then it got well over 100 people. At one point, they marched to the courthouse. They did a demonstration in front of the courthouse where they laid on the ground and chanted, "I can't breathe," in honor of George Floyd. They then came back here, and they've been on this side for probably a few hours. And then it's really when they started moving into the street, they blocked off the street, which in turn blocked off traffic to people who were already trying to get through this intersection. So police were able to clear the street, get some of those cars through, and I'm not sure exactly what happened that led them to, release the tear gas, but it definitely sent people running. People were asking for water. People have spray bottles out here so they don't touch their face. They just have other people spray them immediately to try and decrease that burn, that tingling sensation in your nose and your eyes. But you can see they are in pretty much tactical gear down there. And it's pretty tense out here. I mean, we have a lot of people who are passionate about this subject, understandably, but I think the main issue was blocking off traffic at the end of the day out here. Let's see if we can get a little closer. I apologize here. They are using some bad language, but it is anti-police. They also have water bottles out here that they were drinking earlier, but then were using.
All right, it appears we lost Bridget there, but Mackenzie Stasko is also covering the protest from a different angle. Let's see what are you seeing, Mackenzie?
Well, Maggie, we actually just got hit with tear gas that Raleigh police just dispersed about 5 or 10 minutes ago. This is at the corner of Morgan and Salisbury Street. We do want to mention when we arrived here, everything was peaceful. We did see protesters lying in the middle of the road. Some of them were swearing, they were screaming at Raleigh police, but I do want to make clear they were disruptive, but they were not destroying anything, and they were not violent. And that is when Raleigh police came up with their riot gear, and that's when they dispersed tear gas. So just to kind of give you a chain of events that happened here, this was peaceful when we arrived, and about 5 to 10 minutes after that, when protesters were yelling at police, that is when police then again dispersed that tear gas into the crowd. My photog and I were hit by it. Thankfully, we are okay, but this is going on day 2 of protests that turned into riots here in downtown Raleigh. Not exactly sure how many people are here, but this is just outside of the state capitol. I know Bridget was on the other end. We have a different vantage point here. There's a pretty big crowd. Again, not as sure exactly how many people are here, but just a very diverse crowd of people, again, protesting here in downtown Raleigh, and a huge police presence. We're going to walk up a little bit closer and kind of show you guys. Again, you see the police here in their riot gear and their masks and batons, and then they also have those guns to disperse the tear gas. So if you take a look over here, you can see that the crowd is partially in the middle of the street and then on the green grass area, again, just outside of the state capitol. So quite a bit of unrest. Day 2 of protests. We have not seen anything like we saw last night along Fayetteville Street in downtown Raleigh just yet, where all of those businesses, the storefronts were smashed in. Some of those businesses were looted and damaged. So again, we have not seen that here yet, but we did witness police disperse that tear gas to protesters here who were not violent. For now, that is the very latest from downtown Raleigh. We'll send it back to you, Maggie.
All right, Mackenzie, you stay safe, as well as Bridget and your crew as well. We'll check back in with you in a bit. Of course,
Steve and Lauren, you could really feel the mood here on campus tonight, just somber. Folks knew why our cameras were here tonight, but we really wanted to listen to what folks are going through and see how they're trying to change things.
In terms of isolation, yeah, you know, when you feel like you're by yourself, it's hard, you know, you don't have any outlets to talk to.
It's been an emotionally hard few days for students here at NC State University. Sophomore Iman Hosseini is one of them.
When I found out about it, and then I did some Googling, I found out it's the 4th this year. I know the school has been trying to do things to improve our condition.
Others found out with this email that a fellow student, someone in the College of Electrical Engineering, took his own life. The most recent one happened this week at Wolf Village, which emailed its community saying in part, "I also recognize that this is one of several losses in our community just this semester, and that many of you may already be hurting and grieving."
I mean, it's been really hard. You know, we're missing our classmates, we're missing our friends and students.
Senior Lily Wallace has been through the ups and downs. She appreciated the mental health day they had last week, but she feels like the university needs to do more. So she started this petition to ask for more breaks each month.
I personally would be okay with having some more days during the semester to relax, because that's when I really need it.
In response to this most recent suicide, the university provided counselors last night at Wolf Village and today at the Student Union. The university has also created a student mental health task force to take inventory of existing resources on campus.
That social interaction it's a key part of, you know, the learning process, right? To be in class, ask the questions, right? So it can definitely have an impact.
Iman is from Botswana and deferred his first year because he didn't want to be in Raleigh learning online. He believes students in college right now are having a tough time because their high school experience was altered by the pandemic.
Just as a society, as the school, you know, as we're moving forward, you know, things are in place to really help us. But, you know, when something like this happens, it's very unfortunate and sad.
Unfortunately, this problem is not unique to NC State's campus. Suicide is the second leading cause of death among college students. Iman, you heard from, also an engineering student. He said one of his professors moved back an assignment, was supposed to be due at the end of this week, is now due next week. Lily, meantime, is close to her goal of nearly 5,000 signatures. Steve and Lauren, back to you.
Yeah.